Welcome, my name's Bernie and this is the 3 keys to health. Now energy and health have to go hand in hand. It's hard to have one without the other. And if you've got good energy and good health, well, happiness joins the party, and that's where we want to try and take you today. Naturally, the higher your energy levels, the better you feel. And we ask the question, what is used to burn energy on Earth? And the answer is electrons. However, you can't burn energy on Earth without a trade-off. As an example, say you light a piece of wood, the fire's the energy and smoke's the trade-off. The same thing is happening inside our body. When we burn energy, it creates oxidation within the body and tends to steer you towards an acidic state, especially if the body hasn't got the nutrients to neutralise it. And a lot of toys and luxuries in our modern world also leave us in an acidic state, like soda drinks, alcohol, stress, processed foods, pollution, electromagnetic frequencies from your phones and Wi-Fi's, etc. All cost energy to neutralise. When we look at the pH range, it's the measure of negative ions in the hydrogen molecule or the measure of electrons in the hydrogen molecule. 7 pH is neutral, above 7 is alkaline, below 7 is acidic, and that's definitely where we don't want to be. Now, where we use a lot of energy is the 3 forces of nature, which are creation, maintenance, and destruction. As an example, every minute you're alive, your body makes 19 million new blood cells, and they last about 120 days. Now, radioisotope studies show we replace 99.9% of the physical atoms in our body over a 12-month period. As an example, the studies show we make a new skin every 7 days. A little trivia for you here: if you buy a new mattress and sleep on it for 7 years, you'll find the mattress has doubled in weight from the skin you shed. A little daunting, isn't it? Now, the studies show we make a new stomach lining every 7 days, livers and kidneys every 6 weeks, tendons and bones every 12 weeks, and so on. So the physical body you're watching this video in is not the same physical body you're walking around in 12 months ago. 99.9% of the physical atoms have changed. This brings me to scientist Bruce Ames, and now about 70 years ago he became famous for working out how to do experiments in test tubes rather than experiment on monkeys. So all the labs around the world were able to release monkeys back into the wild, so that was a good thing. Now, in his work, Bruce Ames counted how many times a cell in your body expended energy during the course of a day. Not just your muscle cells, but every cell in your body. And every time it expended energy, he called it an oxidated hit. And he estimated every cell experiences over 10,000 oxidated hits per day. Now, this can end up being our biggest problem. As an example, imagine you're holding a can of soft drink or soda drink. The base of the can to the top of the can represents the scale from 0 to 1 million. Now imagine you're down the Gold Coast and you're standing beside the Q1 building. At the moment, that's our highest building in Australia. It's a bit over 300 metres tall. And you place the can at the base of the building. From the top of the can to the top of the Q1 building is the difference between 1 million and 1 billion. Now imagine 1,000 Q1 buildings on top of each other. From the top of the can to the top of 1,000 Q1 buildings is the difference between 1 million and 1 trillion. Now imagine 73 rows of 1,000 high Q1 buildings. That's how many cells in your body. Now multiply that by 10,000 and you begin to see how big the problem is, why we need nutrients to neutralise or get rid of our smoke. And of course, when that doesn't happen, the pathogenesis to bad health is oxidative stress leads to free radical accumulation, which leads to lipid peroxidation. Now, scientist Rick Du Bois states that when free radicals are in the bloodstream, they have a very erratic path because free radicals don't have any electrons left in the outer shell. So that's why they're erratic. They crash into the walls of the veins and the arteries, and the damage is like a grenade going off. However, the body heals and leaves behind scar tissue. And over time, that's called hardening of the arteries. just some of the things, but there's about 180 different degenerative diseases caused from acidic tissue waste. And Dr. Theodore Brody states that when he says, the countless names attached to illnesses do not matter. What does matter is that they all come from the same root cause, too much acidic tissue waste in the body. So it's very important that we neutralise these to keep us on the healthy path. So we look at what neutralises an oxidated molecule, and as the name suggests, it's an antioxidant or vitamin. And if you don't know the difference between the two, there isn't any. The only reason an antioxidant was named a vitamin is that a scientist discovered the role it played within the body. As an example, vitamin C for colds. But what they've found out since that discovery is as an example, say you eat a slice of tomato, you've eaten over 10,000 different types of antioxidants. There's that many scientists don't know what their role is, but they do know now if you take isolated vitamins, you're breaking up the team effect and it's detrimental to your health. So we get our antioxidants from fruit, veggies and nuts, but is that enough today? And I say definitely not, because of our toys, etc. in our modern world all create oxidation in our body. It's pretty hard to escape pollution anywhere in the world, and of course our phones, our EMS from our phones and Wi-Fi's are hitting us all the time, so it's important to stay on top of it all, isn't it? So that's the downhill slide. So we look at what starts our health off, and everyone needs at least 20 minutes sunlight each day if you can get to it. Even if you just sit out in the sun for 20 minutes or go for a walk in the park, play whatever sport floats your boat. And by the way, that golf shot of mine ended up on the green. That's my story anyway. And when you've got good health, leaves you with options. You can go out with your friends, relax at the beach, take the family to the beach, enjoy the day like it's your last. That's what we should be doing with our lives. So let's look at the keys to health. And on the countdown, my number 3 key to health is all the good food, the food groups. And you should know all them, but one thing to remember is it's not what you eat, it's what your body can absorb. So you should have a really good natural probiotic. And if you Google the numbers 2012 probiotic, you'll find it's a very, very good natural one. Now my number 2 key to health is water. And the reason I place that more important than food is if you take away your bones and ask the scientist what you're made of, he'll tell you your cells are 99% water and 1% dirt. Put your bones back in, and water by volume in your body is around 75%, or it should be. Now these days there's a difference we've found out. They call it live water or dead water, or structured water is live water. Water structures in nature when it tumbles over rocks, like in this beautiful stream down the Bellinger Valley. And when water structures, the molecule changes from H2O to H3O2. Now the benefit of drinking that, if you drink H2O, every single cell in your body uses the infrared rays of the sun to convert it to H3O2 before the molecule goes single file into your cells via the aquaporin channel. So it's only one molecule of water at a time. So you do lose a lot of energy converting water. Can lead to dehydration. So naturally the best source of free electrons comes from the hydrogen molecule, especially if it's in live water. Anything above 7 pH, it's called free or spare electrons, because 7's neutral. And what happens if a hydrogen molecule with free electrons comes in contact with an oxidated molecule? The oxidated molecule draws across the spare electrons like a magnet. Now it's neutralised, the body can deal with it. So basically that's the simplicity of it in the body. So don't waste energy drinking dead water. I'll show you how to get live water through your house. Now the scientist behind all this is Jared Pollock, and he's got a great book out called The Fourth Phase of Water. And he explains H3O2 or structured water. He was actually the first scientist on Earth to work out why water expands when it freezes. It mystified so many people, but he worked it out. H2O when it's frozen becomes H3O2. When it melts, it shrinks back to H2O. So now here's a solution. My invention, the Home Edge, it's designed to go on the inlet water line between the water meter and your house. So you get all the taps and showers in your property. And when the water runs through, it'll energise and structure the water for the entire home. And the benefit there is when you shower, your skin absorbs about 1 litre of water. And because structured water neutralises all toxins and heavy metals, when you're in a shower, you absorb 1 litre of water. So instead of chemicals, you get the energy from the home from structured water. And it dissolves calcium, so you don't get that scaling build up on your shower screen and your pipes. And for tank owners, it kills anaerobic bacteria like E. coli and Giardia. And I've got customers that actually take them as a portable, just pour your water through it anywhere in the world. If you took it to Bali, you won't come home with Bali belly because it kills anaerobic bacteria. And a lot of people out there have had that experience. Now, it never needs maintenance because water structures when it vortexes left and right at the same time and then crashes on itself like it's going around rocks. And inside the Home Edge, there's a lot of little stable fins that has to run around. So we copied nature with that one. So it gives you perfect water for the rest of your life. You can take it from home to home and it never needs servicing. And that'll give you structured water. It goes straight into your cells. Now, key number 1, there's 2 things needed for the best healing process. The body needs to be slightly alkaline or pH balanced. So you can see the importance of being alkaline to heal. And the only time this happens is in the deep sleep zone. Now, people, your body needs at least 2 hours deep sleep every night to heal. And in our modern world, the average is around about an hour or a bit less. Now, you can sleep for 6 to 8 hours, but if you don't hit the deep sleep zone, it's like 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And what upsets our sleep pattern is, of course, all those things in our modern world like Wi-Fi's and so on, phones. I've had customers say to me, look, we turn our Wi-Fi off overnight, and that's a great thought, but turn your Wi-Fi off and then turn on your mobile phone and do a search and you'll find there's probably a half a dozen neighbours are bombarding you with their Wi-Fi. So let's look first at, there's no actual symptoms, this is just an idea that you should be waking up full of energy. So if you're waking up tired like a flat battery, you don't want to get out of bed, lack of energy through the day, feel lethargic, etc. Or you could need a cup of coffee to kickstart your day. That's probably signs that you're not hitting the deep sleep zone. And if your energy levels aren't similar to when you were 20, you're obviously not getting enough deep sleep. Because what we've shown you here is nature says when you're 20, you've boundless energy, you party all night, work all day, it doesn't bother you. 40 years later when you're 60, not saying that you can run as fast as a 20-year-old or as strong as a 20-year-old, but you should still have that inner feeling of energy and health. So my solution, first of all, I'll explain to you what's called plasma energy. They're magnetic fields. And everything in nature is made of magnetic fields. And you're made of all little tiny organised magnetic fields. And how the body balances its fields. As an example, say you eat an apple. Acid in the stomach expands food into small plasma or magnetic fields. And this is what the body absorbs to balance its own fields. And if you still feel a little bit like you're not getting the right ingredients, it can be from information blockages within the meridian tracts. As an example, my body's never assimilated magnesium, All my life I've suffered with cramps and sort of famous for nanny naps. Ask any of my mates years ago, they'll tell you. But now I use, I'll show you the Sleep Mate in the next slide. It has 3 vials that make up the Sleep Mate, and each one contains plasma ingredients like 84 plant minerals, almost alchemy minerals, selected food groups and herbs. They're all designed to balance the body so the deep sleep zone is more easily obtained. And they have a magnetic field that balance any of your fields that are weak. And as an example, in the 84 minerals is magnesium, and of course that balances my body. So even though rubbing magnesium on or swallowing it, it doesn't make a lot of difference, but this way it balances your field. And the best part about plasma energy is your body only uses enough to balance, and once you've hit that balance, it doesn't use or need any more until it needs it. So that's the Sleep Mate between the 2 pillows. You just lay it between you and you go to sleep. And they have, the 3 mates have magnetic fields like a magnet, so they don't stop working. And I'll show you this one here, it's a little bit easier to follow. They're the 3 vials that fit into the slots, and the spine goes in the back, so it keeps the vials at a nice distance apart so their fields work for you. And that's my number 1 key to health. If you're not getting enough deep sleep, well, food and water is not going to make a lot of difference to you if you can't hit that deep sleep zone. And just remember, you might go out like a light for 6 or 7 hours, but you should wake up feeling fantastic. And myself and Debbie, we're not spring chickens, but I can tell you after sleeping on with the Sleep Mate for about a month, we both noticed the difference big time. It's just amazing. So guys, thank you very much for watching. The Home Edge and the Sleep Mate are both available at 3keystohealth.com. So remember guys, your health is your wealth. Look after yourself.